On June 6, 1944, the biggest amphibious military invasion took place right here on Omaha Beach in Normandy. Right behind me is the American cemetery with the bodies of thousands of American troops that sacrificed themselves during the war to liberate Europe from the Nazi Empire. In today's video, I'm going to take you over to Omaha Beach and Pointe Du Hoc, and we're going to walk in the footsteps and see some of the sights that many of these soldiers encountered when they came here to liberate Europe from the Nazi Empire. As you can see on the crosses, those soldiers that were Jewish, they put a star, and the rest get a cross. Here in this little village called Colville, here's a picture of how it was on the D-Day invasion. Omaha Beach is just 1 or 1.5 miles that way, so this is one of the first places where the Allies arrived. In every single war movie or war video game, you're gonna see a church and it becomes a focal point where they either go to save somebody or they seek shelter. And here's a picture during the invasion, and what? Here's the church now in the middle of the town. Here's some more photos of the church. Looks like it's taken a little bit of a beating. Let's go inside. I stopped on the side of the road, guys, because I saw something amazing. Check it out. We have some sheeps. Bah! Bah! Oh.
All the sheep.
No answer. Huh?
All the sheep.
Old sheeps?
Yeah.
Okay. And you get their wool to make clothes, or?
Well, in 1 month.
In 1 month?
Right.
You shave them and... Oh, wow. And do you make cheese with the sheep too?
No.
Fromage?
My friend.
Your friend?
Yeah.
Oh, it's his sheeps. Oh. Tu préparer le fromage de le...
No.
No. Fromage no. Oh.
No meat.
No. Okay.
No cheese. Pardon. No cheese.
Yeah, no cheese. No cheese. Okay. All right, very beautiful. C'est belle. Comment t'appelles?
Mouton.
Mouton?
Mouton.
Mouton. Oh, mouton. Okay. 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 Merci beaucoup. Bonne journée.
Oui, à vous aussi.
We're arriving right here on Omaha Beach. This is it. To give you an example, this starting from the tip over there all the way to where the cliffs begin over there, this is Omaha Beach, and this was just one of 5 beaches where the D-Day landings took place. All in all, it's about 50 miles of coast where all these invasions took place, but this right here was the bloodiest battle of them all. You see, the weather was really bad over here, and many of the tanks actually sunk. The soldiers were having problems getting on board, and all the Germans were fully stocked over here. A battle-hardened Nazi army with a lot of experience firing down on the Allies. You got all the countries there that were liberated from Nazi control: Norway, Netherlands, Belgium, Poland, as well as the countries that took place in the invasion. And right here we have the memorial for all the men who lost their lives here. You can try and envision thousands and thousands of ships here on June the 6th arriving, making it the Metal Sea over here. And another thing to note, immediately after landing on June the 6th, the Allies immediately constructed a Mulberry Harbor, basically a fake harbor. They sunk ships all around to use them as breakwaters. All the way from England across the English Channel here, they brought floating ports, and well, they pretty much just constructed an artificial port here within days. And each day, over 20,000 men, tons of equipment will make its way on here to Normandy to assist in the invasion. In the meantime, just throwing boulders into the sea. Here at Omaha Beach, almost all of the tanks of the Allies, well, the Americans, sank. So they basically had no cover. The soldiers were using the Pebble Beach here to hide and stay out of enemy sight. Right here, pretty much you can see soldiers hiding. Here's the pebbles, and they couldn't be seen or be hit by German machine guns. However, the mortar could still hit them. Here you can see the beach is pretty much sandy. Then when you get to the shore over here, this is where the pebbles are, and back there were the German bunkers. And this was pretty much what was saving the American soldiers at the time. On a normal day and a beautiful sunny day like today, people will be renting all this. But COVID has stopped a lot of the tourism here. Right outside of the museum, let's go inside and check it out. During the era when Nazis occupied all of France, there were many French resistance fighters, and well, these were some of them, or replicas of them pretty much. This is one of the landing crafts that the Allies used to reach the beachhead. Here we have an amphibious type of truck. You see the wheels down there at the bottom. They would use this to cross rivers, to take some of the men back to hospital ships, move cargo around. Here we have the classic American Sherman tank, and then right next to it the deadly Panther tank. Here's a visual of what the soldiers had to go through. Intense fire, blocking obstacles such as that triangular one, or this one that we've seen in Saving Private Ryan, and barbed wire all over the place. We're here now, arriving at Pointe Du Hoc. I wanted to point out Mr. Gillam Myrick, part of the French resistance. He was living in Bayou and he owned a bicycle shop, and he decided to join the resistance, establishing a network of civilian informants. Basically what these guys will do is they'll spy on the Germans. They'll send the information over to England, and well, it will help out the Allies in his case. Very vital. They changed the batteries here that they have and the gun placements here at Pointe Du Hoc. They changed them a few days before the invasion. He was able to tell that information over to the Allies so that they can adjust properly. Here's some of the bazookas, some of the mortar shells, some of the kind of grenades that the Allies were facing. The Rangers used to fire these hooks to try and climb the huge cliffs of Normandy, which I'm going to show you. So Pointe Du Hoc wasn't one of the 5 beaches during the D-Day invasion, but it was a vital point, being that it had a couple of 155mm batteries that had to be taken out. Why? Because, well, these batteries, along with the one here in Sur-Mer, could either take out Allied forces here on Utah Beach or at Omaha Beach. So it was extremely vital. And this is what it looks like. This is the Pointe Du Hoc. These are the cliffs that the Rangers had to scale. Now what happened was all their ropes got really wet at the end of the hooks, so they got extra heavy and they couldn't make it to the top, so they had to use rope and a ladder to get up there. As you can see, the ground here at Pointe Du Hoc still has all the holes from the bombs that were dropped. Look at this one. This one is massive. Now this was the scene throughout all of Normandy. However, after the war they filled them up with sand to make it look normal, but here at Pointe Du Hoc it still looks like the surface of the moon. This is what it looked like as the US Air Force was bombing Pointe Du Hoc. Now, weeks and days before the D-Day invasion, Pointe Du Hoc was getting bombed by Allied planes. They did a really good job because they managed to destroy one of the 155mm batteries, and in fact the Germans ended up moving the batteries later and hiding them inland. So when the soldiers, the Rangers, finally got up here, they had to search for the batteries that were more inland. Imagine it is June 6, 1944. You're a German Nazi and you look into this ocean and you just see a sea of metal. It must be a terrifying experience for these guys. Anyways, this right here, these are the exact same cliffs that the US Rangers had to climb. They came from down there, up here via the ladders, and onto the rest of Pointe Du Hoc to take over. However, it wasn't like this. They were under intense fire. So it just adds something. They were seasick as well. Imagine these conditions. Trying to climb a 90-foot cliff. You even see it. This little spot there was bombed. And this bunker has taken some damage as well. Out of 350,000 Allied personnel that took place on D-Day, 9,000 didn't make it out on June the 6th. That is the price for freedom. This right here is a perfect example of the Norman bocage. As you can see, when the troops started going inland, Normandy is full of farms, and what the farmers do is they set up these hedgerows, that's what the bocage is, to protect their crops from the wind. So this right here will be a farmland with crops and whatnot surrounded by the hedgerows all around, and next to it will be another hedgerow separating different crops or another farmer and whatnot. Now what the Germans will do is they'll place artillery and they'll hide it within the hedgerow and they'll wait for the Allies to come. Now we got to remember, the Germans were here for about 4 years before the invasion, so this was practically home to them. They were on the full defense while the Allies were attacking in new territory that they're unfamiliar with. That's gonna finish off the adventure here of touring Omaha Beach and Pointe Du Hoc. I hope you guys like this video. Hope you learned something new. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.